All right, so here we are. This is session 13. Quick little recap of last session. Fill in any parts that I missed here, guys. So, you guys all were back on the ship. Um, the mainsails were ruined by Porto when he caught the ship on fire. So the ship was basically struggling to move at any kind of a decent pace. And Nima told you guys you're, I think at the time, about 2 days travel based on your current pace to get there. So during the travel, you guys found lots of interesting ways to pass the time. Portal spent some time with Nimba trying to make something out of the gelatinous goo that he got from the mines. Um, in the process of that, they made something and they tried to test it out on your little tadpole friend that you kept in a jar. To which Portal just basically was able to um, try to get the thing out of the jar, but it latched onto him and he basically blew it up with a firebolt. So the tadpole is no more. But in the end, they end up making what they think is a vial of poison that they can use to coat weapons. After that, you guys all went up, and I think the first thing you guys did, Kishin wanted to play a game of dice to pass the time. I think pretty much everybody played it first. It was a graduating pot, kept getting bigger and bigger, and in the end, the dwarf ended up taking all the money. Is that correct? Or Blackfire win that one?
I just got my money back, as I recall.
Okay. All right. So basically, that they got to a point where it's too rich for most of the crew. I think Olimar and Blackfire were the last ones there at the table when they finally called it quits. And then after that, Olimar bought a last bottle of fire whiskey since all the beer was gone for putting out the fire on the sails. He bought a bottle of fire whiskey from Kishin and proceeded to kind of offer up drinks for everybody, which led to a bunch of shots around the table, which everybody again, except for at the end, it was the dwarf and Bachfard that were left at the table that were the only ones not passed out or drunk or puked all over themselves, except for Porto. Porto backed out. Jiyyd and Novek and the two gnomes
Porto's smart.
didn't partake. They just kind of sat back and watched and laughed, I guess, so to speak. But yeah, pretty much everybody puked and or threw up by the end of the night. And the last shot of the night, Blackfard and the dwarf toasted each other, and they both passed out simultaneously. Then next morning, I had some horrible breakfast because Olimar was hungover. Everybody was pretty much hungover. I think a couple of people threw up again when they had some horrible breakfast, or somebody said something gross. I forget exactly what it was. But the rest of the day, most people kind of tried to recuperate from being hungover. And then that night, Remora proposed a new game called Brave Chicken, where they basically challenged someone. They threw darts at each other, trying to make each other flinch or hit the targets. Long story short, she challenged Quarren, and since Quarren won, she ended up planting a big old kiss on Quarren. Then I think they retired for the night, and during the middle of the night, only Quarren, I guess technically Quarren and Porto now know this, but in the middle of the night, Remora snuck into Quarren's room and had a little happy time between the two. Next morning, she was gone before he woke up. Didn't say anything to him about it, but somehow Porto noticed how the two were looking at each other, and Quarren spilled the beans. Okay, and then they eventually made it into town of Jiyyd, where you guys see on the map right now. And they met a couple peacekeepers and the chief. They met this little old gnome named Uvan. It's kind of like a retired / tribe council member advisor for the group or for the village. Chief Bo told the guys that they have to park their boat outside the village, nothing inside, and they also are not allowed to have any weapons on them while walking around the village. So he gave them the choice of either storing the weapons on the ship or storing the weapons in a central vault in the council hall / peacekeeper office in the middle of town. So Tiga decided to stay on the ship. Novek was staying on the ship for now. Kishin, Remora, and Olimar all disappeared into town. Jimba and Nimba stay on the ship, and Blackfire, Porto, and Quarren all decided to go into town. And Will's the only wild card at this point. Will's been underneath, I guess, maybe embarrassed by his swollen lips and tongue, maybe sick, we're not really sure. But he finally came up top and Now he's got to make a decision what he wants to do as far as in town. Did I miss anything, guys?
No, I think that was pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's fairly accurate.
Oh, and for Will's information, Bachbard has been to this town before. It's where he came from when you guys met him going down the road. He stopped in here to sell some pelts and hides before he moved on. And he informed the group of a couple hot spots, I guess, so to speak, in town. A tavern, the inn, and a bathhouse, a.k.a. a brothel that's in here as well. Right?
All right.
So first things first, Will, are you wanting to stay with the ship, or are you wanting to head into town as well?
I think I'll stay in the ship for now.
All right, so you're staying on the ship with Jimba, Nimba, Jiyyd, and Navek at this point. Nimba has pretty much gone down underneath. He said he's going to start working on some return potions or healing potions. He'll actually ask you guys which one you guys prefer him to work on. He can make maybe 2 healing potions a day if he has the right supplies, and he can make 4 return potions a day based on the nightshade mushrooms you guys brought him back. But that's assuming he doesn't get interrupted at all. There's still quite a bit of looky-loos and villagers coming out and looking at this wonderment of a floating airship, and they're asking all kinds of questions, and Nimba and Jimba are basically divulging anything they can. They're not really hiding anything at this point about how it works. Okay? Yeah, as far as you guys know, before Kishin, Olimar, and Remora took off, they all mentioned as they went to town that Kishin wanted to get some more materials to basically replace the broken or missing wheels that are on the Swift Sparrow, and he wants to begin repairs on that pretty soon. Olimar said he wanted to stock up with some more food and some more beer, and Remora wanted to look for some more material to repair the sails. Uvan mentioned to you guys when you first came in to basically try to keep the attack on Helgabal under wraps. She doesn't want to panic within the village, and she asked you guys to bring that up in the tribe council meeting, which is tonight in the council hall around dusk. Jiyyd is not back. Jiyyd. Jodel is not back yet. He said he would meet you guys in Jiyyd, but you guys have not seen any signs of him as of this point. Right.
Okay.
So now it's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do here. Let's first start off with Will, since he's the only one on the ship that's actually, I guess, here in character. What do you want to do for? This is like mid-afternoon at this point when you guys arrive. So you have like an afternoon action you want to kind of partake in while you're here.
Actually, I think maybe Will wants to get a drink. Go to the tavern.
Okay, so you'll need to decide what you're going to do with your weapons. You can either keep them stored on the ship, or you can agree to go to the courthouse and the main vault, and keep them stored there.
I'll leave them in the ship.
All right, so since we're on that subject, each of you guys have your own private room, but we haven't talked about this up to this point. There's also like a main storage or safe, you want to call it, in the alchemy lab. It's big enough. It's basically a giant locker. You guys can probably fit all your stuff in there if you wanted to, or you can keep them individually locked in your rooms in the foot lockers. The foot lockers are basically wooden chests with some iron bound around the edges and whatnot. The safe that's in the alchemy lab is obviously a little more secure. It's bigger. Nimba and Jimba are the only ones that have keys to that safe. Each of you have individual keys to your foot lockers. So I just need a quick run around the room here. What are you guys doing with all your stuff?
The footlocker, like personal one in the room, big enough for my polearm?
Yeah, all your foot lockers are I say foot lockers, but they're long or tall. It could be a tall one, it could be at the floor. They're all big enough to accommodate any of your weapons and pretty much everything you've got.
Okay.
You have like a giant dragon horde of something.
I'll just leave my stuff in my room, whatever I need to, right? Weapons. So I have a hand axe, I'll leave my, halberd and hand axe.
Okay. How about you, Porto?
Porto will leave any valuable any valuables in his quarters. He'll keep well. He'll also leave his weapons, I guess, like his daggers and his bow, his short sword, and his arrows, and he'll just carry on his wand. And I guess he'll also leave the vials of poison in his quarters.
All right. So you're going to try to take
But-
your wand into town. Is that right?
Yes.
Are you carrying it openly, or are you trying to conceal it? What are you doing with it?
It's just stashed in my belt.
Okay. So just out of character, if the bow or the peacekeepers do spot that, they may question you about it.
I'm aware of this.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick technical thing about the new system? Something about needing to set something to make it automatically roll damage as well. Here, let me do something. Yeah, it didn't do damage. What do I need to do to fix that?
If you go into your character sheet on the right side, there's like a little sprocket symbol. If you click
Up
on that,
beside core, bio, and spells?
right, there's core, bio, and spells,
Yep.
and there's a little sprocket icon. If you click on that sprocket icon,
Yeah.
on the right side, I think it's like a third thing down. It says something like auto roll damage and crit.
Okay.
Turn that on, it'll automatically do that.
Good, got it.
Okay. Corn or Bachbard?
There we go.
Doing with your stuff.
My fists will be stored in my personal locker along with like certain personal items like the Centaur banner and my scout insignia, but pretty much all my other normal weapons with no magical properties I'll just keep in the communal thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll just stash my stuff in the locker they gave me. That's fine.
Your personal footlocker, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Question: my gloves. My gloves don't appear to be, untoward. They don't need to be put away, do they?
Oh, your gloves of
Hill
giant
strength. That's right.
No, they wouldn't be considered from a visual standpoint to be weapons.
Cool.
I mean, you don't know if there's a ban on magical items.
Mhm.
He didn't really specify that, but it would be considered a weapon. It looks like everyday regular gloves.
Good.
Brian, just out of character, I just have a question regarding how the Wand of Wonders looks like.
I can leave that pretty much up to you. I've got an idea how I think it looks, but really, it's your flavor. It can be, if it's going to be your weapon, you can say it looks however you want.
Okay, I'm gonna just flat out say right now that it basically looks like it's an everyday stick, like a branch or whatever. But it has like really colorful leaves, kind of like a twig, sort of. But other than that, that's how it looks like.
Okay, I'm fine with that. So you're like an odd man walking around with a twig in your pocket or in your belt.
Basically.
Okay. All right, so I think that's everybody. So you guys staying together? Are you guys splitting up? What's your plan?
Well, as you said, you asked me what I wanted to do. I just thought I wanted to get a drink. Go to the tavern. I guess we'll just ask anybody in town where it is.
All right, what the rest of you? That's the tavern.
I'd like to
I'd like
go
to go.
and
Bunch of drunk bastards.
check on.
You didn't get enough fire whiskey? You gotta go to the tavern right away? Okay,
He was in here for
okay.
that.
So
Well,
everybody,
is Will the monk?
Go ahead, Will.
No.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that's the tavern, yeah?
Yeah, that's a tavern, but Will is a paladin slash monk. He's a multi-class.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there was a straight monk too, though, right?
Yeah, Brennan's all monk.
That's the okay, Brendan.
Oh, sorry, he's a wood elf monk. All right, so just clarify. Everybody's going to the tavern.
Porto is not going to go to the tavern.
No, Corn's not either.
What did you say was what did Bachford mention was in the town again?
He pointed to 3 main attractions: were the tavern, which where Will went. This here in the center is the inn, and this here is the bathhouse, or aka a brothel. I think I rolled randomly for you guys. You guys also found out about a couple farms, like a pig farm and a chicken farm and another oats, something like that. But those are the 3 significant ones. Is that what you guys recall as well?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what you rolled.
Does Porto notice any church or library or town hall?
Okay, 1 second. Let me make sure I'm clear on everybody's afternoon action. Then we'll kind of take each one of you in turn. So Will's going to the tavern. Porto is going to wander around town, I'm assuming, looking for different things.
Yeah, basically.
Corn, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go and look for our fellow crew members to make sure they can acquire their supplies.
All right, so you're looking for Kishin, Alamar, or Romora, correct?
Yep.
All right, so you're staying away from Porto. You're not hanging around with him, correct?
No, not really.
Okay, and Blockbard.
I'm following Brendan around. What's Brendan's character's name?
Corn.
Corn. He's the monk, right? Yeah, I'm following him around. He's pretty cool.
All right, so everybody roll initiative, just so I can get an order of how I want to do this, and I'll take you through your little portion for a little bit, then we'll switch to the next person and kind of keep going round robin.
Oops, double click that.
Alright. Initiative roll. How do I do this?
Just on the initiative slot, just click the word that says initiative there.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay, so there was a bug, I'm assuming. Are you guys manually putting those in there, or those populate when you rolled?
Oh, well, we probably don't have our tokens selected, that's why.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I'll need to click on my token first. Alright.
It's okay, you can manually.
Will it do it automatically? I just manually entered mine.
Ooh.
You can take your
Oh,
first
mine
one.
was 17, actually.
You can use your first roll, Portal. That's fine. I'm not gonna make you guys re-roll just because it didn't go in the turn order.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, that's accurate for everybody now.
Yep.
All right, Portal. Let's go with you
Trying
first.
to figure out.
Where are you wanting to go yet? Go first, or what's your intention or plan here?
Porto would be drawn to anything like a church or a library or a town hall or a town center.
Okay, let's take it one at a time. So, first thing you're looking for is a church.
Basically, a stone building of importance. Or if it's not stone, it's wooden, then something that looks like it's important and not an inn or a brothel or a bathhouse.
Okay, so let's take a step back. Let's move you back over by the boat and start working your way in, and I'll kind of point out what these things kind of look like to you based on a perception check. I mean, some of it's going to be obvious. Some of the stuff you're not really going to know until you go up and actually go in or ask what they are. Okay?
Got it.
All right, so assuming you're walking your way from the ship into town, this first building on the right you'll notice here, It has a few symbols up above it that represent 4 different gods that you're familiar with. So this appears to be a small, but albeit it still looks like a temple of some sort. This side, this looks like an old farmhouse. Not back behind it, you can hear some kind of a critter or something running around in the backyard, but you can't really tell what it is just by looks. Looks like just like an old farmhouse. And this building right here is, you can see a symbol sign kind of hang over a door of a picture of like looks like a beaver maybe, and a foxtail, and looks like just different kinds of animals kind of carved into the sign hanging over the door.
Interesting. Probably a fur trader shop. I'll keep moving forward.
All right, so if you're not going into the buildings, I'm going to move on to someone else and let them do something real quick, and then we'll keep going around, okay?
Okay.
All right, Corn, where are you? How are you going about trying to find them? You just looking yourself? I mean, there's obviously all kinds of people walking around, different townsfolk, and some people are looking at you somewhat like not sure about you. Some people are walking up to you and saying hi and asking about your ship and all kinds of stuff. But how are you going about trying to find one of your crew members?
Did I see them walk in any particular direction when we first got here?
Now, pretty much when you guys dropped, I guess, anchor or moored, so to speak, and then the townfolk came up, the 3 of them were quickly off the ship and took off. So you saw them going down, the roadway, kind of where I was pointing out with Porto, but you lost sight of them as you were dealing with all the commotion of all the people coming up to the boat.
Well, first I'll just kind of walk down that direction and see if I spot one of them. And if I don't, I'd probably try and ask around the town to people asking me questions, like if they'd seen any strangers coming by.
Okay, you're walking down what direction? I didn't see you if you pointed somewhere.
Down here.
Okay, down that street. All right, give me a perception check first to see if you notice any of them. You see, this street's not quite as crowded as the other ones, but a little bit of foot traffic you do see on there. You don't see anybody that resembles any of your crew members. But you do notice,
Right.
I mean, I can kind of point out what these buildings kind of look like, what you think they might be, based on that perception check as well. Or if you're just looking in the street, that's fine. Just let me know.
Well, if they're a certain type of building, maybe that'd be where my party members are, so.
Alright, so this building right here looks like a kind of older, just regular farmhouse. You see a couple old shucks pieces of corn stalks and stuff kind of all over the front porch. A couple little baskets out in front of it, almost like maybe someone's trying to sell some corn. Other than that, looks like a regular farmhouse. This building right here, same thing, looks like an old farmhouse. You see a couple of big containers sitting out front. Looks like some kind of a crop. You can't tell if it's like oats or wheat or something like that. And there is a sign hanging over the front of it. It's got a little carving picture of a horse with I forget what you call those things, those feeding things that fit over their mouths. Got a picture of that kind of.
Okay.
And this building right here, that one is. That's stables. You can see and hear and smell the horses in there. All across the windows and the front porch of all these houses, you're seeing the flowers kind of adorn all over the place. Some in pots, some just kind of hanging up. And I guess what you're guessing is an attempt to kind of mask the smell of all the horse crap. But that building is clearly marked as a stable and a horse trader.
Well, in that case, I'll probably just ask like someone who looks a little bit more uh, mobile, I guess. If they've seen someone walking around town, it's kind of strange, looking for certain goods.
You're just asking just someone on the street, or are you going up to one of the buildings and asking? What are you doing?
I'm just asking someone on the street. You said people are like coming up to me every once in a while, so I'll just ask someone.
All right, so you meet a couple of farmers that come up to you and asking all kinds of questions about the boat, and after you kind of appease them for a little bit, you ask them, what? Tell me what you say to them. What are you looking for? Who are you asking them about?
Oh, well, have you seen any strangers come by lately? I'm assuming it's a pretty small town, so and particularly would be a small dwarf would probably stick out.
Ah, small dwarf. Well, we've got a few here in town, but there is one new one. Matter of fact, I thought he was part of your crew out there. He was heading. One second, I'll look this up where he went. Sorry. Ah, yes, I saw him walking down this same street we're standing on here. Uh, Actually, saw him heading down towards the pig farm. He kind of points this building down here.
Ah, interesting. And do you know the best place in your town to acquire new materials for a sail, a ship sail?
He kind of scratches his head a little bit, kind of like a sail. What? We're not a port town. We don't. There's nothing here where you can get a sail.
No textile mill or anything of that nature?
Again, he kind of scratches his head a little bit. Says, I don't even know what sails are made from, Mister. So uh, if you want something like cloth, there's a tailor and a seamstress here in town, but I don't know if that's the right stuff to make a sail. I'm a landlubber.
Yeah, that's yeah. Point me out to where your tailor is,
All right, one second, let me look it up.
or the seamstress as well.
Ah, just right down the street here. It's right next to the pig farm. Lucky for you.
Well, that is lucky. And I'll walk right over there after thanking him.
Okay, you heading for the seamstress or the pig farm?
The seamstress.
All right, so go move your character over that building, and we'll pick back up with you after we go through the next scene. Porter, go and move your person wherever you were last or where you're heading, please.
All right. I think I was here last.
Okay, that's fine. Close enough. All right, Will. So you made your way into the tavern. Is that correct? Just kind of sauntered in there yourself, or?
Let me go and say, you see, Will is part of his character. You can look at it. He likes his ale, but he's not like a alcoholic or a drunkard. He enjoys his nice ale, so he wants to actually take a look at the tavern, and take it in and see if it's actually going to be a place where he can get a nice ale instead of just some watery, nasty stuff. Perception roll.
Okay, you're just looking at the front of the building, or are you going in and trying to make that determination?
I guess I'll go in.
Okay, so you're just looking to see if it's basically a nice tavern or a
Yeah.
hole in the wall or something real swank, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you won't need a perception check for that. That's going to be pretty obvious once you walk in there. Let me just switch over to my other list here.
Gosh, my rolls are horrible. I'm literally nearly as bad as Will Wheaton. Not quite, but almost.
Wow.
All right, as soon as you walk in, you see it's nothing fancy. It's obviously a weathered and well-used tavern. Being this is a kind of a trading post town, it gets a lot of foot traffic. There's a small crowd in there. I mean, it's mid-afternoon. You see a few people in there. real crowded. At the bar, you see there's a dwarf, got a big red mohawk, big red beard, a couple barmaids kind of walking around, and one of them not so busy, kind of sitting at the bar talking to the bartender as well. Got about 5 or 6 different tables in it. Off to the right, there's like a swinging gate that goes into like another larger room. Backside, a couple doors you see on the left and the right side of the bar itself. On the far right corner, there's a large fireplace, and you see a small table close to the fireplace with what appears to be some kind of a checkerboard table on it, and 2 little kids are playing on that. One bouncer kind of greets you as you come in, kind of gives you a look over, but doesn't really say anything to you. He just kind of stands there stoically with his arms crossed. Big, tall brute, no hair. But again, from your first glance around, it looks like just a regular run-of-the-mill tavern, nothing fancy.
All right, well, go up to the bartender and ask him, hello there, my good dwarf. Tell me, what have you got in your stores for a something of a connoisseur of good ales?
Those greetings there, my human friend. I guess you're new here. This be Golan's Golden Ale House. This has got the finest ale in Narfalands for miles. Let me introduce myself. I'm Golan MacBruin. This is my place, and my ale is the best in the land. Would you care for a tankard or 2?
Yes, give me a cup, please.
Kind of takes a walk back and grabs one of his mugs and kind of wipes it down with a towel and goes over to a big keg in the wall and pours you a nice tall tankard. Turns it back around, sets it on the bar, says, "That'd be 2 silver pieces, my friend."
Okay, give them to him. I happen to have 3, so that's good.
You have 3?
I have 3 silver. I have other gold.
You saying this to
Right,
the to the dwarf? Or you just saying this out of character?
No. Sorry.
All right, so dwarf takes your money, pockets it, and kind of goes back to washing some more glasses, and goes back over talking to one of his barmaids. And says, "Let me know if you're ready when you're ready for another."
Alright, so I take a sip. How good is it?
Based on the ales you had, this is on a scale of 1 to 10. You'd probably put this one around 8, maybe 8.5.
Wow. Alright. Not bad for a, unassuming little tavern. I'll tell the guys about it.
All right. So what's your intentions at this point? What else you want to do?
He's gonna enjoy it, and he's gonna actually ask. What was the dwarf's name again?
His name's Golan.
Ask Golan for food. You get any chickens?
He tells you the kitchen's only open during the evening. They don't get enough traffic in here for breakfast and dinner. He said they might be able to grab some leftovers for you, but his cook doesn't come in for a couple hours.
Okay. Sorry, DM, what time is it?
This is mid-afternoon.
I thought it was like afternoonish.
Yeah, it's mid-afternoon, around 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay, I see. Wow, it doesn't have enough traffic for food yet. Oh, okay. Well, I enjoy the beer, and I'm just gonna have the one though, and before I leave, I tell him, mighty fine ale you've got there. I'll have to tell the boys about it.
Okay. All right. He thanks you. Says, I'm surprised you only had one. Most people can't stop at just one. That's I'm not so sure about your taste and palate there, my friend, but bring your friends back. I'm always happy to sell you another tankard or 2.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's switch to Blockbard. What are you up to, Blockbard? You were following Corn around, right? Anything in particular you want to do?
No, I was just here. I am just playing dutiful, these people my life guy, And I mean, if anything, I'm just trying to figure out what these guys' purpose in life is. Because I don't actually understand what the greater plot is, really, or what these guys are doing. Just like a crazy floating boat.
You mean in character or out of character on that?
Well, that's what I'm up to, ultimately. I'm out of character, that's what I'm doing. But in character, I'm basically just following around and being patient.
All right, so if you want to do any kind of role playing or conversation with Quarren as you're walking around, this is your opportunity to do that.
I'm going to skip that for now. I'm trying to get my character sheet up to snuff, so I'm happy to defer for people who have actual shit to do.
All right, so I'll go ahead and move you so you're just kind of shadowing Quarren at this point. But if something comes up or you want to chime in while you're with Quarren, then just go ahead and bring it up. Okay?
Okay. Thanks.
All right, Portal, where are you heading next?
Well, Porter will just, kindly greet passerbys as he's walking about town, just smiling and greeting and waving. And I guess he'll ask the next person he meets where he can find, or I guess he'll ask if there are any libraries or if they can direct him to a town center.
Okay, you ask a couple people, and when you say the word library, most people kind of give you a strange look on their head and scratch their heads like they're not even sure what that is at this point. But you don't get any good answers about any kind of a library. And you also said about a town hall. What you asked about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll hear you say town hall, and that's not what they call it. They'll call it the council hall or the jailhouse, and they will point you to that building, which is this building right here. I'll tell you that's where the tribe council periodically meets. It's also where the town vault is, and the peacekeeper's office, and the jail.
Oh, is that where the mayor, or I guess well, I guess it would be a mayor that would run the city.
Now, when you say
City
mayor,
hall, or
when you say mayor, the couple of the townsfolk will kind of correct you. Say, no, there's not really a mayor of Jiyyd. We are run by a tribe of councils of the 6 surrounding barbarian tribes. No one person rules us all. That's why we rely upon the council's decisions. It's again a group of 6 leaders from all the tribes here, and they meet periodically to make decisions as say a mayor would in a larger town.
I see. Would one of the council members be in Jiyyd today?
They kind of talk amongst themselves about when the next council meeting is, and then one of them mentions that they think there's a council meeting coming up tonight. Said the council members don't live in town; they all live out in their respective tribes, but they are expected to be here. They think for a town meeting tonight at dusk.
Okay, thank you. Would they? They don't usually let outsiders in. I'm assuming.
Outsiders like to go and view the council meeting.
Yes.
Because I don't know why you want to go. It's usually a bunch of boring politics stuff about what farm needs a new cow and what roads need fixed. And I have no doubt the windmill will come up again, as it does in every meeting. But I don't think they tell people they can't come. They may occasionally have a private meeting closed to the public, but I really don't know, sir. You'd have to ask them.
Would I have to ask them, or could I ask someone at the council hall?
He says, "Well, I think right now there's always a peacekeeper on duty in the council hall. I think Coda's the one on duty right now. She may know more about who you can and can't ask, but I've never gone myself. I just hear it from other people through the grapevine and through gossip. Yeah, just a bunch of boring political
Okay.
crap to me."
Okay, Coda's her name?
Yeah, Coda.
All right, thank you. I'll head there right now. Have a great day.
He regards you, thanks you again, shakes your hand, and tells you that next time you're back at the ship, he'd like to maybe go on board and take it for a ride if you're so kind.
Absolutely. I'll even show you some of my more interesting research samples if you're curious of the curious nature of the world.
Roll me a perception check.
Sure. Hang on. It's going to take a while. All right.
Right. You kind of see him give his person he's been talking with a look. You're not sure what he's trying to interpret by saying that look, but then he just thanks you again and kind of walks off.
Ah, I see.
All right, Corn.
All right. So I'll walk in here. Do I see Remora?
Oh, you went to the tailor room, right? The tailor
Yep.
seamstress. Let me get to my notes. 1 second. All right, you walk in, and you kind of like you were looking for. You do see Remora standing there next to the counter, talking with an older human woman standing behind the counter, and they seem to be having somewhat of a heated discussion at this point. Remora does turn around when you come in, and she kind of looks surprised to see you. And says, "What? You following me for some reason?"
Oh, just making sure things are going all right. What's the problem here? You kind of look like you're in an argument.
Well, not an argument per se. It's just I can't find any good material in this godforsaken town to fix the sales. The best thing I've got here is this linen and silk and these other tailor materials they've got here. But I'm just I, I need everything they've got, and she doesn't really want to sell me everything she's got. She's afraid she's going to just be without work for at least a week before the next arrival comes in. But I'm just trying to talk her into selling me what she's got.
Well, if we're willing to pay enough, I don't see why she wouldn't be willing to part with her fabric. Certainly it should hold her over then. And I go up to the lady.
The old woman
I'm like,
regards you and kind of snarls a little bit. She says, I've got other customers. I can't just give all my material to her. I mean, what about the other people that I've promised work to? I can't sell her everything. I'd just be rude."
Rude as it may seem, we're on a somewhat important quest at the moment. I was advised not to delve into the details at the moment to just the public, but I can assure you that it involves the protection of not only your town but the realm.
Protection of the realm, and you need my material to do that?
That is the situation we're in right now, yes, and we are still willing to pay quite well for it.
Right. Your argument doesn't stand on very good legs, but roll me a persuasion check at disadvantage, because she does not
This is going to go
understand
well.
how cloth is going to help you save the realm.
There we go.
She's like, realm schmelm. A few bolts of cloth is not going to help save the realm, and I got to keep my customers happy. You guys will be here and gone in a day. I'll have customers that will be in here for every week for the next years.
Well, I'm sorry we can't convince you otherwise. I'm sure you did notice our airship, and we would need this fabric in order to construct sails that were burned during a fight. But if you're not willing to part with it, I can't force you.
She said, I've already offered this young lady how much I can give up at this point. That'll have to do for now until I get another shipment. And Remora kind of huffs and puffs at that, but she slams down her money on the turntables. All right, fine. Just give me what you can. I'll see what I can do with it. So the old woman kind of takes up some of the coin and she bites on some of it, making sure it's real at this point, and puts it into her apron, and she disappears back in the back to apparently start collecting some of the bolts of cloth and silk that she's agreed upon.
Well, sorry, Maura. I tried my best, but this lady seems quite stingy about who she's selling to.
Yeah, Remora just kind of looks at you and nods and kind of rolls her eyes at the old lady and says, I hope I'm not that old and bitty when I get that old. I just can't believe her. I mean, I was being nice and everything. She just kept saying no to me.
Some people you just can't deal with. You seem certainly reasonable. It won't happen to you, trust me.
And she kind of looks you over again and says, you sure you weren't following me? And who's this? And you brought your buddy along as well? I'm assuming, Blackbard, you came in as well, correct?
Correct. And so, just to be clear, she's actually out of material, or she's just not willing to give it up?
The old lady does not want to sell all of her material to Remora because she has other clients that need material as well.
This is for the sales.
Yeah, Remora shared the guy. That's what her intention was, to buy enough material to repair the sail that Portal basically burnt to crisp.
Right.
Well, when she says that, I'm like, well, I'm not really following you in particular, but I do like to look after my own, and I consider you one of them. Not only you, but the whole career. So
she kind of gives you a knowingly little smirk on her face, and then the old lady finally comes back out with several large handfuls of bolts of cloth. Barely kind of be able to walk. She's kind of like got her back bent back, and she's barely able to handle care of this stuff, and she slams it on top of the counter at the last second, like she's about to drop it. Says, this is as much as I can give you. This is probably about 3/4 of what you need, but I'm telling you, this is all I can give up for now. Come back in a week or so, and I'll have another supply delivered, hopefully.
now that I ask, is there possibly anyone else who may have purchased fabric or maybe does a little bit of homework themselves and knitting that may be able to supply us with a small amount more?
She says, nope. Everybody gets their stuff from me, because I am the tailor. I am the seamstress. If anyone else is trying to steal my work, I would know about it.
Excuse me, seamstress. What are your other clients making?
My other clients aren't making anything. I'm making things for them. I'm making dresses, I'm making some aprons, I'm making some breeches, all kinds of stuff. Some tunics, some lovely dresses. Yes, the ladies of the bathhouse, they keep me busy as well, and they pay well as well.
I'm gonna draw myself to my full height at this point, kind of snort, and I respond. So this good person comes to you, and he says lives are at stake, and you say you will not help him because of whores and fine ladies with dresses, and you're not willing to give up simple cloth for good money. Is that what I am to understand?
Roll me an intimidation check. Damn.
Boom.
That's okay, because she only rolled a 3 anyway on that one. Okay, so you see, as you come up to her, she sees you, and she looks somewhat taken aback as you start raising your voice and getting right in her face, and you see her kind of retreat back and kind of shrink down a little bit, and like she's trying to look for a place to escape. Says, "Let's just leave me alone. I'll call the peacekeepers on you, but so here, take your damn cloth." And she goes back and grabs a few more, and she throws them up on the counter. But it'll cost you extra. I'm going to charge you double for this last bit of bolt here. But you take it all. Just leave me alone. And if you come back here, I'm calling the peacekeepers.
Very well. We did not mean to scare you, but this is just very dire situation, and I'll gladly pay double and perhaps a little bit more, depending on how much double is.
So you see her more starting to kind of collect all of it, and she looks over at the half orc and kind of like gives him a look like, okay, you want to help me carry some of this stuff here? And she plops the rest of the money down there, the negotiated price, and she kind of motions for you guys to head on out.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously take the whole load over my shoulder. That's no problem.
Yeah, it's not that it's heavy; it's just that there's a lot of it. Big mass of all these giant bolts that are more that she can put in her grip. Yeah, you can obviously.
I whispered,
It's a sailcloth. It better be heavy. I mean, honestly, I doubt any of us could carry it.
No, it's not sailcloth. It's just regular cloth and silk. And there was no actual sail material here. Ramora's going to try to make do with what this stuff is.
Got it.
As we're walking out, I whispered to Bakbar, I'm like, nice work in there, man.
Least I can do.
Remora agrees. I guess sometimes having a little extra brawn comes in handy.
No, it doesn't seem to hurt.
What is out of character real quick? What is the build of your character, Corn? I mean, he's a wood elf, so I'm assuming he's somewhat slender. He's not like a big guy, correct?
No, I'm pretty typical elfish, like slender guy, but I do have a decent amount of muscle mass for my slender size.
So
being a monk.
So as she said, makes the brawny comment, she kind of looks at you somewhat jokingly, and you can see the look on her face like she's kind of referring him as brawny and you not so much.
I'm just like, hey, whatever. That's, culture. I'm an elf. He's this. I expect him to be quite big.
All right, so you guys are going to head back to the ship. Or are you going to head somewhere else? What's your intention?
Yeah, I mean, if she needs help carrying stuff, we'll help carry it back with her.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you guys are carrying that stuff, so you are heading back to the ship. Okay, so let's switch back over to Will. Will, what's your next move?
I don't really know. Not sure what else there is to do. Will comes out of the tavern here, and he looks around. He looks at all.
Just trying to observe what the buildings are.
All around here, kind of.
All right, so give me a perception check.
Yeah.
That's a very good perception check.
Yay.
All right, so as you gaze around, the first thing you notice is you're pretty much standing on the town well right here. So you see people kind of coming up and dropping buckets down and pulling up buckets of water and filling up containers and carrying them back to their businesses or their residence. This building right across from you, that has a carved symbol hanging above the door. That, from your perception check, you think that's like some kind of a doctor or a medicine shop. This building right here, again, based upon the sign you see kind of carved out hanging above the door, you believe that to be some kind of a baker shop. This one here is the courthouse and jail. This one over here has a symbol hanging above it that you're pretty sure is a blacksmith shop. You already knew about the inn. Bach already pointed that out. You already know about the bathhouse. This building over here, it doesn't really have a sign hanging over it, but it's got a big front porch on the front of it, and you see all kinds of knickknacks and all kinds of stuff that's looks like some kind of a shop. You're just not sure exactly what it sells.
Interesting. Let's go there.
To that shop, you're not.
Walk in. Yep, that's right.
All right, let me switch to that building. Sorry, my note's not on the screen.
Hmm.
And as you walk in, you see it's obviously some kind of a general store. You see all kinds of equipment, all kinds of you see food, you see all kinds of kits, you see various furniture, you see shelves of like knickknacks and these weird looking oddities. This is pretty much some kind of a general store. But once you come in, a little bell on the door kind of chimes, and you see a gentleman on the back counter kind of raise up a hand and says, "Ahoy there, traveler! Welcome to the general store. What are you looking for today?"
Uh, just passing through town. Feeling a little bit feeling a little bit like a snack. What kind of little morsels have you got over here?
And on one side of the general store, it's pretty much like an open market. He buys all kinds of vegetables and what little bit of fruits are still in season right now, and kind of sells them secondhand from all the farmhouses in here. So you can pretty much find any kind of berries or some potatoes or some corn, uh, some small kind of little berries, stuff like that. But some bread, some dried meat.
Nuts.
He's got a small stash of nuts. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, some bread, some jerky, some nuts, and like an apple.
He tells you he's fresh out of apples, and he kind of starts
Alright.
shaking his head a little bit. Says, "God damn it, I was supposed to get a delivery of those last week sometime, but damn it, not yet. Sorry for I'm kind of short on some of this stuff. Normally it's not a problem."
Now, what else you got along that line of fruit?
Fruit. He tells you he's pretty much left to a few leftover grapes, some blackberries, some local berries that grow around there, kind of like a huckleberry, so to speak. Nothing real big. It's all just like normal stuff from this area.
I'll stick to what I got.
All right. What else can I do for you?
No, that's it. Just a snack.
Okay. Old woman kind of comes walking up from the back, says, "Don't you be badgering him, Riley. Just let him buy what he wants and let him go. We're already kind of short on our wares anyway. Damn bandits."
Bandits, you say?
At that, Riley kind of looks at his wife, says, "Frida, you don't need to be going telling everybody about this. But, well, I guess since you already knows, yes, there's been bandits been attacking my merchant caravans coming from the east for the past 2 weeks. It's sporadic. I mean, sometimes they only take a few things. Sometimes they can take the entire wagon. But I haven't had a good delivery in a couple weeks, and now the merchants are starting to get wind of it, and they're not even traveling here on a regular basis. It's going to start really to impact us if we can't get this resolved."
Oh, sorry to hear that. Let me tell you, I'm here with something of a band of adventurers, and well, we're in the area on a mission of certain things, and if it comes up, I'll see what we can't do about that.
Looks at you over and nods. "Ah, you're one of those fellas that came in on that airship, aren't you?"
Yeah, indeed.
Ah, that was a sight to see, I tell you. I haven't seen stuff like that in years. Well, obviously not on land. I used to live closer to the Moon Sea when I was younger, but those days are long gone. But, set of adventures, you say. So, you may be able to help me. That ship might come in handy.
Yeah, I see. Yes, indeed. Oh, you should go and you should have seen the ship as I did only a short while ago when it was more itself. Recently had a bit of a run-in, and in the course of things, it suffered some damage. But anyway, yes, as I said, I'll have to talk to the others about it, but we'll see if we can't see about the bandits. More along those lines.
All right, so he seems intrigued by your discussion about ran into a little trouble and whatnot, and he'll ask you basically to, this is kind of paraphrasing, kind of elaborate on what you mean by a little trouble or a little adventure there, and basically trying to find out if you guys have like combat experience and if you ran any kind of issues.
Okay, I'll tell him that as a matter of fact, our newest companion, the half orc, we rescued him from some gnolls and gnolls and wargs, and in the course of the fray, the ship suffered some damage.
Knowles, you say? He seems kind of just oblivious to the part about the ship catching on fire there, and he seems somewhat enamored, and you can see like wheels are turning in his head, so to speak, when you mentioned about how you guys dispatch these gnolls on these giant mounts of theirs as well. And he says, "Tell you what, I may have a proposal for you if you're willing to go on a little adventure." And he puts up his fingers like in air quotes, I just spoke, to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "What say you help me with this bandit situation, and I'll throw in 500 gold?"
No, that certainly sounds reasonable, but once again, I'll have to speak to the crew about it. But I think they'll be not too disinclined.
Says, good to hear it. So yeah, back to your friends and let me know. And tell you what, I'll sweeten the pot a little bit. If you guys are able to dispatch the bandits for me, get my trade caravans going again, I'll give you the 500 gold, and I'll give each of you something off of my oddities shelf over here. And he kind of points over to one side of the shop, where it's just all kinds of these little trinkets and oddities and knick-knack, real stuff that most people in this area would consider really rare. It's not something you see every day.
Okay. No, it's very generous of you. Before I go and pay for the food and that, I'm going to ask him, tell me, hopefully I can tell the others, do you have any idea of where the bandits might be, where they come from, where we might be able to find them?
He shares it, but basically all he's able to determine from the merchants that have survived the attack, so to speak, it's anywhere 2 to 3 miles east of town along the long road. So there's not really like one particular spot where that was attacked. It just seems to be at random times of the day and random spots along the long road. He's unable to put any kind of a pattern to it to help you out.
Okay, I want to ask him if from the merchants he's the merchants he's had return, if he knows whether they're more along the lines of more or less camped out or situated more or less right on the road, or if it's kind of they kind of come up on the road all of a sudden as if they're base is somewhere off away, and they're making raids on the road.
He basically says all the attacks have come on by a horseback. They basically rush up or run up onto the caravan from out of some of the nearby woods or groves, or from behind a cliff or a hill, a boulder. I mean, they find hiding spots, but they basically rush the caravan before they can get away on horseback. They said most of the time they don't hurt the merchants. He believes, although he has no proof of it, that the only ones they've hurt are the ones that actually fought back. All the ones that he's talked to have been pretty much giving up the goods right away, and they let them go. But what they told me is they take all as much as they can carry on the horseback, and then they take off again back to where they came from.
All right. So I I tell him thank you for all this information. Again, I'll speak to the others about it. And thanks for the little lunch.
Okay. He thanks you as well and gives you the bill for it. It's only a couple copper at this point. Just bought some minor things there.
Mm-hmm. And I head back to the ship. I guess I'll go and tell Nivek and Nivek about it.
Okay. All right, Bakbar, I know you had your little session with Quarren. You guys are all heading back to the ship at this point, correct?
Whatever he's, yeah, I mean, I guess so. Whatever they're doing, I'm just following them around.
All right, Portal, what's your next move?
Alright, well at this point I'm at the council hall.
All right, let me get to those notes. All right, you walk in the front door and you see right in front of you is a big oak desk, and you see what appears to be a half-orc female sitting there. There's a door leading off to the back. There's also a door to the right side or to the left side, but this half-orc female kind of stands up and greets you and says, "Greetings, traveler. My name is Coda. What can I do for you today?"
Well, hi Coda. I'm Porto Amakir, and I just spoke to some townsfolk regarding the council members, how the leaders are, if I remember correctly, tribesmen from surrounding tribes in the area, or chief of the tribes in the area.
Yeah, out of character.
And
they're all like just representatives of each one of the tribes. It's not really like some of them could be chiefs, but they're just more like people they've chosen out of each tribe to be a representative for the council meeting that they have occasionally.
Oh, okay. And I was just wondering if I could partake in the council meeting.
She kind of looks at you and tilts her head a little bit. Says, "I'm not sure what you mean by partake, but you're welcome to come and watch. All the council meetings are open unless they announce ahead of time, but it's a private one. That very rarely happens. I'd warn you, it's mostly just a bunch of boring political crap. I'm sure they'll talk about the damn windmill again, but yeah, you're more than welcome to come and sit and watch. There's very few people that actually come to watch these things, but again, there's like 5 or 6 probably open chairs in there. You can find a bench." And she kind of points off to the right, which is just the council meeting room, just in that, a small conference room. But it's tonight at dusk.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually, I came in, I arrived in that ship that you probably heard about, the flying one that's just outside this town.
Oh yes, the talk's all over town about this flying ship over there. I'll have to go take a look at it when I get off shift here. But life of a peacekeeper keeps me busy. Well, maybe not so much. I'm just watching this drunk in the back for now, but it
I
pays the
see.
bills.
So tell me more about this windmill that you mentioned. What do the council members talk about? Why is this windmill a problem
Uh,
exactly?
well, here lately it's all been more about complaining than anything else. I mean, as you probably noticed that the winter was long, the spring was late. We've had a bad harvest this year. Livestock has been affected because of that, and that's kind of like our livelihood around here. So they're just trying to come up with different ways and looking for ways to find a new field, replenish some fertilizer, find a new breed of stock, put down the sick stock, and a bunch of boring stuff. Oh, and the windmill. The windmill comes up every single meeting in there, but sometimes there's a complaint about this tribe did that, or this tribe claims that, or someone got in a fight. It's a bunch of piddly stuff, to be honest with you. Occasionally we have to get involved.
I see.
It's just a chance for the tribes to get together and complain, if you ask me.
Well, as I said before, I arrived on that ship, and me and my friends, we are actually on a mission, and if what you say is true, that the council members are gathering tonight, I would be more than happy to watch. But would it be possible to get a meeting with them?
You want a private meeting with the council?
Yes.
She says, "Well, I normally don't handle things like that, but I'll put in a word either with Chief or I think I saw Uvan here earlier. She's one of the council members. I can bring it up to her as well. But tell you what, come back here just a little bit before dusk, and I'll let you know if we can set something up or not."
All right. Thank you. And I would be able to bring the rest of my party with me. I believe I've only I believe there's only four other yeah, four more of us in this town.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I'm not sure who all you're counting of just the PC players or not, but yeah, there's 5 PC players at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Blackbard will just not Blackbard. Sorry, she's a half orc. Coda will just inform you again of the ordinance where no weapons are allowed in the village, as long as all your friends agree to that stipulation, then they're free to come and observe the council meeting tonight.
Okay, thank you. And if I may ask just one more small favor, if you do ask if it's possible for me to get a private meeting with the council members, please mention the urgency and importance because we are on a mission and it is in it has to deal with very sensitive matters, and I'll just leave it at that.
And she kind of gives you a knowingly look, says, "Yeah, I heard. Chief Bo told me. You guys claim that there's centaurs around here attacking different tribes, or something about Helgabal falling, correct?"
That is correct.
Yeah, well, like I said, just like Bo said, keep that under wraps, because people around here, they'll freak out over something like that.
I understand. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your shift, and when you're done, by all means, feel free to check out that ship. And with that, Porto walks out casually. And
All right, she thanks you. And one of the things I want to point out to you, you need a perception check for it, that on Coda's face, you would have noticed that she has scars on both of her cheeks. But you do to give me a perception check to possibly determine what those are.
all right.
Oh, is that it, the 20, or was that your previous one?
It's the 20.
All right, so she's got two rather old-looking scars, but they're still scars, pretty prevalent on her face, and both of them are shaped in like a 5-point star on each of her cheeks.
Oh. Um. Huh. Well, could I recall some information based on what those stars mean? What those two 5-point stars would symbolize? If I can recall any information about any culture that I've read, or any type of cult or practice where there's carving of 5-pointed stars on the cheeks.
Roll me a history check, and since you're a researcher, you can do this at advantage.
Got it.
All right, so from what you remember reading about this, which is pretty much everything based on a 24, that there is a town pretty much, I guess, southwest in the Cold Lands, kind of close to the Thayan realm border. There's a town called Two Stars. And that is an infamous town of orcs and half-orcs that Thesk and Narfell basically employed this horde of orcs to take on a horde of Thyan marauders that were coming in to attack Fesk and Narfell. And this horde of orcs were numbered in the hundreds, and they fought against an army of Thayans in the thousands. And they were able to basically defeat or keep the Thayans at bay until reinforcements did arrive. And because of their valor and their bravery in holding back the hordes of thousands, they granted the town of 2 stars to these orcs and half-orcs as their own. And as a way to, I guess, keep them employed, keep them satisfied, they use the town of 2 stars as a, for lack of a better term, a rehabilitation center. They will send violent criminals to 2 stars and put them into either hard labor or into basically grunt work, or once they gain enough respect from the half-orcs and the orcs, they will put them as basically meat shields or grunts in the front lines, keeping back the Thyan marauders when they do attack. They do this when they first come in. They put 1 star on 1 cheek, and that is their symbol that they are condemned to this life until they prove themselves worthy and achieve retribution, so to speak, for their crimes. The orcs and half-orcs that lead the town will make that determination, and sometimes they never do. Sometimes after years of service and loyalty, they do earn that freedom again, and when they do, they get the 2nd star upon their cheek, and they are set free, no longer imprisoned within 2 stars. Most of the people with these markings, you know that they are looked down upon by most civilizations because they know the history behind that, those who do know it. But you also know that they make some of the best sellswords and mercenaries within the realm because of what they've been through. And that's what you get with a 24 roll on your history check.
All right. Well, in that case, Porto will actually continue speaking. So how long have you been working as a peacekeeper here?
All right, let's hold on to that for 1 second since we had a pretty good conversation with you. Let me give you other guys a chance, and we'll come back to that. Is that okay?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, Corin. So you guys are heading back to the ship, pretty much drop off all this bolt material, and Remora will quickly gather as much as she can into, I guess, her makeshift shop just outside the alchemy lab, and start kind of sorting through all that, figure out what she can or can't do. What are you doing at this point?
At this point, I'll just probably hang tight and make sure she doesn't need any help.
Alright, so if you're just like kind of looking over her shoulder, she'll kind of give you a look every once in a while and says, I don't need someone looking over my shoulder. I know what I'm doing here. So if you want to help, start separating out these things between the silks and the claws and the I don't know what other kind of material this is.
Alright, gladly. And I'll get right on that.
Alright, Blockfired, what are you doing?
Make myself useful, however it seems fit.
Alright, so Corin will only take a few minutes to kind of sort through the other bolts of cloth and whatnot. So unless you guys know what else you want to do next, I'm going to move on. But think about what you want to do next if you're not sure right now. Alright, Will, what were you doing next?
Alright, so I come back to their ship. Have the others just returned with the cloth?
Yeah, Bachvard and Corin are both back at the ship as well.
Alright. So I guess I'll go to Nivek, but I'll kind of call for whoever's around, and you know, tell them all about the guy at the general store and how, you know, wares are trickling in, the merchants are being attacked by bandits, and I'm sure the whole city is probably being affected. by this. Maybe we could strike out tomorrow and see if we couldn't confront these bandits, and at the very least get them to leave the merchants alone.
Alright, so you'd have been telling that to Quarn and Blackbard, Nimba, and Jimba. Nivek would have left before you got back. I apologize, I forgot to move him out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Nivek would have told the crew he was heading into town to try to find a replacement horse since he lost his. Alright, so Quarn and Blackbard, you heard Will's little story there. Care to chime in?
Well, if it's to help out the people in need, I'm definitely on board.
All right. He the shopkeeper said he'd put in 500 gold for us for the efforts, and also to each of us a small bauble from his oddities rack. He said bandits attack 2 or 3 miles out from the town, back along the road, and but he said they seem to come upon the road. So I doubt they're on horseback, by the way. So I doubt they're particularly close to the road. It may be a little tricky to find them. I don't know. Maybe they'll be easy enough to track, but I have no experience there.
Let me check.
I think we're going to be.
Unfortunately, I believe Jiyyd is our tracker, and he and Storm are a bit under the weather right now.
Sorry, out of character, Brian. I think you at the start of this you mentioned that someone had said we were going to join the Tribe Leaders Council, the council, but then Porto had this discussion and asked about it. Is that is that common knowledge or no?
Is the fact that there's a town council meeting tonight common knowledge? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, and that we were going to go to it, because I thought you mentioned that we were invited to go to it by people that met when we came to this city.
Yeah, correct. You weren't there. In the last session, when you guys first came into town, one of the council members, Uvan, the little elderly gnome lady, greeted you guys. You guys started talking about how Helgabal fell and her centaurs, and she told you guys to keep it quiet and not cause a panic, but she asked you guys to come to the council meeting tonight and share your concerns with them a little bit more in private so that they can discuss that in a little more detail.
Okay, so I say we've got the council meeting tonight. Maybe we could strike off tomorrow morning if more urgent matters don't come up, and see about those bandits.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Nimba kind of overhears this and sticks his head into the little meeting room you guys are and says, "Okay, I hear something about bandits. My ship is going nowhere near bandits. I'm already crippled enough with this broken sail."
Yes, 2 to 3 miles. I think we'll probably see if we can't borrow some horses from the stables.
Fair enough, but not taking my ship. I'm not taking my ship around bandits. No, sorry.
No, but we know the ship's not going anywhere. I turn to Bockford and say, Bockford, I don't know if you have much experience with a pole arm. I wonder, how do you feel about wielding that pole arm there?
If this is what you want me to use, I will use it. I use it as well as anything else. I love my axe. I don't want to use what you do not want me to use. It is not mine. I'm happy to use my axe if you want the pole arm.
come along over here. Let me give you some pointers. I want to train Buckford for a while there in some polearm techniques.
All right, so just quickly out of character, I assume at this point that Blackbird was proficient with a glaive. Is that correct?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the categories in 5th edition are insanely broad. It's a martial weapon, so.
Okay, so if you're wanting to basically train him so he's proficient in it, I mean, if that's where you're going with this.
No, I mean, I am already proficient in it because it's a martial weapon. So, I mean, it's again, the 5th edition rules are just crazy broad.
What do you want to know exactly?
Now this is just more for flavor. Anything I had in my mind that Will would offer to train Buckford with polearm.
Okay, and that's fine. I mean, if you guys want to roleplay that, I just want to make sure that you weren't expecting me to do some kind of a...
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so you guys can head off to the side of the ship and kind of show off your kung fu moves, and and that'll pretty much be, I guess, your afternoon action. That'll take several hours to kind of show them what you know. All right, Portal, back to you. What are you doing at this point?
Oh, one more thing. One more thing real quick. I tell all the guys, and by the way, that inn, or not inn, excuse me, tavern, for an unassuming inn, the innkeep, Golan, was it? He's got quite the fine homebrewed ale he's got there.
Too bad Olamar's not there.
I think I had to pass on ale for now, my friend. After drinking for so much, I unfortunately passed out. I need to take a break.
Okay, Portal.
Okay. I believe I was gonna... Yes, so... Continuing my conversation with the Peacekeeper, yes, I was gonna ask how long has Coda been working as a Peacekeeper?
She kind of looks you over a little bit, so that's an odd question to ask from a traveler, but you must know I've been here for almost 4 years now.
I see. So you're making a living for yourself?
Not sure you call it a living, but I've been through many towns, and being as I am, and she kind of looks at you and points at her face. If you know what these are, it's kind of hard for me to find a good living somewhere, but Chief Bo took me in, and he was kind and favorable to me, and I've earned some respect from the town folk. Others are still set in their racist ways, but it's a living.
Can't really do much about that, but it's nice to hear that Chief Bo has been kind to you and that most of the settlers, most of the townspeople are warming up to you. How much, what are your wages, if you mind me asking?
She kind of laughs a little bit, because you're awful nosy, aren't you? I don't feel that's something that is really any of your business, Mr. Porto.
Porto chuckles a little bit and says, well, reason why I'm asking is because I understand that you are definitely a skillful fighter, especially if you have those markings on your face. And I was just wondering if you'd be interested in joining my party. There's certainly a lot more treasure, I guess, profit, or, well, let's just say that you'll have a lot more chance to make something of yourself. And plus, I'm also considering hiring you.
She kind of looks somewhat in shock. She says, well, I couldn't have imagined ever getting some kind of a proposal like that from an elf, no offense, mind you, but I, my treasuring days have long since passed. I've kind of grown accustomed to this lifestyle, if you will, and she goes, tell you what, ask me again tomorrow. Let me think on this. Right now, my answer would be no, but ask me again tomorrow, and we'll see. Thank you for your offer. I appreciate that.
Well, you're very welcome. All right. Have a great evening.
She nods and extends a hand for a hearty handshake, and she shakes it pretty hard and firm handshake and sees you off.
All right. Porto at this point will try to find the party and gather the party.
Okay, you just gonna like wander around the village looking for him, or are you gonna head back to the ship?
Well, what time of the day are we at currently?
It's getting to be late afternoon at this point, probably close to around 4, maybe 5 o'clock.
Okay, and dusk is how many hours away?
Probably between 5 and 6 at this time of year.
Okay, so 5 to 6 hours away. Yeah, Porto will go back to the ship and wait for the party to gather.
All right, give me a perception check at advantage on your way back.
Sure. A crit.
Damn. All right, so on your way back, you see Kishin kind of leading a horse and some kind of a cart with quite a bit of lumber and timber on it, making his way back to the ship. And he greets you, and you guys kind of share whatever you want as far as what you've done for the day. And he tells you spent pretty much the day haggling with a couple of gnome brothers at the lumber yard, getting materials he needs to repair the ship and possibly make some new wagon wheels. And you also notice, walking next to him, is Olimar carrying this pretty big wheelbarrow filled with various kinds of meats and vegetables and fruits, and he's got a big smile on his face. And he tells you he's also secured a couple barrels of ale to replenish his stock on the ship. But he'll have to go back to the tavern tonight to get that delivery.
All right. Yeah, Porto greets them and takes notice of all of the gains or purchases that they've made.
And you give me one more perception check as you're walking towards the ship. And while he's doing that, the rest of you guys, Novek shows back up to the ship a couple hours later after you left, and he's riding on a brand new, looks like a stallion of some sort. Got a big grin on his face.
Is this with or without advantage?
Oh, this one's without advantage.
All right.
All right, you just smell a bunch of crap. All right, so you got.
Well, it is a farm place, farm town.
All right, so you guys are all back on the ship. We're kind of out of, I guess, initiative at this point. You guys can pretty much pop in whatever you want to say at this point, or do.
When Porter comes back, I'm just like, no problems, right?
Yeah, no problems today. In fact, I have a couple of solutions to problems if you're interested in hearing.
Oh?
Yes, I've managed to get a possible private meeting with the council members that are meeting tonight. And I've invited all the party members. I mean, this is kind of important considering that we need to discuss matters regarding the Centaur raids, and it would be helpful to not only inform the council members who are actually members of different tribes in the surrounding regions, but it would be pretty useful to have some aid from these surrounding tribes.
All right.
Oh, most definitely. If they aren't aware of the tax by now, then they're just in danger not knowing.
What have you heard?
Not much, but I just know that these attacks only grow worse, and we were unfortunately had to almost intimidate our way into getting all the materials we needed for this sale, but because the town kind of has a disbelief that we're here to really rescue them.
At that, Novek kind of chimes in. These people are clueless. They don't have a clue what danger lies out there. There are a few good men throughout this village that I've found so far, but there's no way they could withstand any kind of a decent onslaught from these centaurs. They're oblivious, they're clueless, and they're in denial at this point. We must bring this up in the tribe council meeting tonight to warn them to be on the lookout, and worst case scenario, they must flee or evacuate this small village. There's no line of defense. It's just ripe for an attack, I tell you.
Yes, a farm town like this with a lot of produce. Although, from what I've heard lately, they've had yielded very poor results over the coming seasons. But it's still a farm town, and it's still, it's still a target for raiding.
Alamar and Kishin will both kind of be making their way onto the ship and putting stuff away and whatnot. And you guys over here, Olamar and Kishin, talking stuff. I'm not going to any council meeting tonight. I got better places to be. You see Olamar kind of nudging Kishin with an elbow, kind of like a knowing look. And Kishin kind of shakes his head. Yeah, we got some other business to attend to tonight.
Corin kind of just rolls his eyes because he kind of gets what they're inferring. Alright, boys. Well, you have fun with that.
They both kind of smile at each other and smile back at you. Says, yeah, we'll have some fun.
Will comes up and will fill Porto and Nevek in about the bandit situation and the tentative plan to see about that maybe the next day if something major doesn't come up.
They'll most likely be brought up in the council meeting.
Yeah, we can absolutely bring that up at council meeting.
You see Novek kind of drop his head a little bit and kind of shake his head a little bit. He says, I will do my duty, but we can't keep going on all these side quests. I want to get to Bildabaris. I need to build an army. I need to retake Helgabal. I feel conflicted. I will help you as long as I can, but I fear that sooner or later I'm going to have to go on without you to Bildabaris.
No, the ship's not going anywhere anytime soon, at least I think. So I think we might have just the time to do it.
Yeah, I agree. We might as well do something productive while we wait for the ship to be repaired. And besides, I mean, we're on our way to Bildabaris, and we might as well, since the ship is down, we might as well take this time to not only prepare for the Centaur attacks in case they do decide to attack, but to also make sure that any towns that we do come across are at least somewhat prepared for these attacks.
Novek kind of grudgingly agrees with you guys. Says, very well, I'll give you 1 day, 2 days tops. If the ship's not ready by then I'm sorry. I do apologize, but I must continue on to Bildabaris. That's why I bought that over there. 4
You are
points over to this horse you just bought. I don't need the ship.
You are a man of honor, are you not?
You see him be almost like hurt by that comment. Says, yes, I am a man of honor, but my honor goes to Helgabal first, and I must do something to to free that city, to free my family, if they're still alive.
Even at the cost of innocent lives that can be saved.
Are my wife and children not innocent lives worth saving?
I'm not saying they're not, but right now, are you at Build-A-Bars? Right now, are you saying that the women and children in Jiyyd or any other town that we come across on our way to Build-A-Bars are not worth saving?
If the horde of centaurs attack this village, like they did Helgabal, it'll be like a boot squishing an ant. They don't stand a chance. We will warn them tonight at the tribe council meeting that if there's any inclination of an attack from the centaurs, that they are to flee. Injast is only a day's travel from here, at least. It's a fortified city. They have much better chances there. That's my recommendation.
But you will, so you are going to make sure that we're able to protect these people, right?
I will protect them to the best of my ability. I am but one sword and one shield. Like I said, I will do my best to protect the innocent, and I will advise those who cannot protect themselves to fend for themselves if need be.
So it goes without saying that even if these bandits are not centaurs, they are still attacking these innocent people.
I never said I would not help you with these bandits. I just said we need to make haste with these side quests when we need to be more proactive at helping Helgabal retake her and rid themselves of the centaurs.
Why, of course.
Just, I'll help you with the bandits. But like I said, 1 day, 2 day tops, then we must move on.
This situation looks like it might be able to be settled if carefully planned and played out. Might be settled within that span of time. But I need to remind you that lives are at stake. And if you are going to abandon these innocent lives, then how can you call yourself a man of honor?
You see him getting all flustered at your comments, and he kind of bursts out and says, do not question my lawfulness, my duty, my honor. I have fought wars and battles longer than you've been alive, my young friend. I know what it means to live with honor. I also know what it means to run when you have the chance, to hide, to defend yourself, to flee to fight another day. There's no point in going into battle just to die.
My good man, I believe you are not aware of elves, for we live much longer than humans. But I will understand, and I will take note that you are being truthful of what you say, and I respect your feelings on the matter. And rest assured, your family will be saved. We will definitely make sure that we can go at a quicker pace. But while we're here, you may be able to travel on your horse, but the rest of us can't. And if we could, we would be able to most definitely accompany you. But as the ship is grounded, so to say, at this moment, might as well take this opportunity to protect these innocent townsfolk. And I completely agree. I understand that you are willing to stay within 1 or 2 days, but anything could happen within those 2 days, and if you are willing to part ways, then I will not judge you, but we need all the help that we can get.
We're on the same side, my friend. Let's bring this up in the council meeting. Let's see what comes out of that. But like I said, I will stand and fight. I will protect the innocent. But we may have to choose at some point to run, to live, to fight another day.
I understand.
All right. Anybody else? All right. So what do you guys want to do for your, I guess your evening action? It's approaching dusk at this point. I'm assuming you guys all want to go to the tribe council meeting, or you guys want to split up again, or how you guys want to do this?
Yeah, is it council meeting now?
It's getting.
No, it's
Yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just a few, I believe, a few hours or just before the council meeting.
Yeah, let's just put this in relative terms. We'll say the council meeting is at 6 o'clock, which is roughly dusk. It is currently right now about 4 o'clock, so you're about 2 hours away from the start
2 hours.
of the council meeting.
What day of the week, or well, actually, has Porto read about Jiyyd and their customs at all?
What do you mean by their customs? What's particular you're looking for?
Like, are there any festivals currently happening, or is the town, like, in this part of the year, or is the town having or holding any kind of celebrations, any kind of rituals, or any beliefs that this town may follow that might lead to any kind of communion of sorts?
History check.
All right. Advantage?
Sure, you're a researcher. I'll allow that. Okay, you're not aware of any kind of ceremonial or festival or anything that happens within Jiyyd. With the 17, you do know that there is a, well, matter of fact, you would have heard this in the conversation with Navek. That was your original intention for going to Bildabaris around this time of the year, because there is a fall festival within Bildabaris where many of the tribes from all over Narfell will travel into there for I think it's a 10-day festival is what I said, of celebration of reaping of the harvest. But that's in Bildabaris.
Okay. And when is that exactly?
Okay, I gotta do the math in my head about how long you guys been traveling. Because when you guys left, I think I said the festival was in like 2 weeks. And you guys have been traveling for like, I'm saying 6 or 7 days. So you're probably still 3 days away from the start of the festival. And like I said, it runs for a 10-day.
I see. Okay. Yeah, Porto will just stay on the ship until the hour comes to go to the council meeting. Actually, Porto wants to make sure who is coming with him. Like who is coming and who is not coming.
Oh, I'll come to the council, if only for interest.
All right, so if you're going to the council meeting, move your token over here by Navek, because Navek is going to.
Alright, reason why I'm asking is because anyone who isn't going... I would... Nimba is going to stay on the ship, right?
Correct. Yeah, Nimba and Jimba are going to stay on the ship. They heard Olimar say he's having some more ale delivered. They want to stay on the ship to receive that and they may partake of some of that.
Okay, and Nimba is able to. Well, actually, so basically, everyone has supplies now to start repairing the ship. The ship is still very much grounded. Can't really move fast.
Correct.
Okay.
But Remora got started on some of the sales. She was just starting to kind of sort through all the materials. Kishin secured some timber, started doing repairs, and like I said, Olimar brought the food already on board, and he's got more ale being delivered tonight. But they will inform you guys if they're not going to the council meeting, and they need to go into town to check out this tavern. Ever since Will said they've got some really good ale there.
Okay. How long does it look like the ship will be repaired? When Porto asks the crew.
Remora is unable to give you a definitive answer because she won't know until she gets started. Kishin said with the help of the lumber yard that he should be able to get all the repairs he needs within a day.
Okay, that's good. This Porto actually. Who owns the ship? Or actually, you know what? Porto just Porto gives like 20 gold to each individual crew member.
For?
Because he feels bad for damaging the ship.
Oh, if you're wanting to reimburse somebody for it, okay, here's how it works. So you guys have got over in the journals, you've got a party loot thing here, which I'm not sure if anyone's really been keeping track of, but I occasionally go in there. And when Nimba and Jimba agreed to, I guess, basically transport you guys. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you guys remember that conversation, because I didn't write it down here. But I think he agreed to allow you guys to travel as long as he got, I think it was 20%, 20 or 30% of whatever your, I guess, findings or loot are from travels. However, this party loot gold is being used for general repairs, for replenishment of supplies, just general upkeep of the ship.
Okay. In that case, Porto donates 150 gold to the party loot.
All right. So if you guys are doing that, I'm not going to be too much of a accounting Nazi on this. But if you guys do want to contribute to the party loot, you can move it from your character sheet onto this party loot thing. Which I'm not sure how old this is. That's where you guys first started putting everything in there, and a little bit that I've been keeping track of. I've been plugging in here as well.
How would I be able to put stuff in there?
I should have given you permission.
Okay, wait, hold on. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, I think you guys all have permission to go in and modify the party loot or add it or whatever. Again, I'm not going to be a stickler on the amount of money in there. It'll only come into play if you guys wanting to buy something really expensive or have some real serious repairs and whatnot. I haven't taken the money out yet for all the stuff that Remora, Olimar, and Kishin bought. I'll do that after the session. I didn't want to be bogged down with that while we're in the session.
Oh, okay. Well, I just put 150 gold in there. Was that 2,283 gold, and now it's at 2,433.
All right, very good. Thank you for your contribution.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
All right, Bachbard, where are you going?
So I apologize. I haven't been paying super close attention, but it sounds like people are either staying with the ship or going to the town meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah, Nimba and Jimba are staying on the ship, and Tegan and Storm are still down the hold sick. The rest of the crew, Olimar, Remora, and Kishin, they were going to head towards the tavern after they heard what Bill said about the ale there, and the rest of the party was heading to the council meeting.
Then I'll follow them to the council meeting if that's what they want.
All right, so just so I'm clear, Porter, you talked about trying to have be there early to talk to Coda about whether or not you could get a private meeting, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that's what your intention of right now is, right? Head to early.
Yep.
All right, so as you guys enter, Coda greets Porto and does a quick little brief introduction of everybody, hopefully, and Coda looks at Blackbart and she recognizes him and says hello and calls him by name. Not sure if he remembers her or not, but she does have an eye for people traveling in and out of towns, and the fact that he's half orc, she kind of had somewhat of a connection with him. And she tells you that only a couple of council members have made it in so far, but they all said they'd be happy to have a private meeting with you. She shared that she did divulge a little bit of information to kind of stress the urgency of the private meeting, and they all agreed that it was worthwhile. So you've got Uvan, the one you met already, and two other, total of 3 of the 6 tribe council members have been here and agreed to meet you guys in private. And she assures you that the other 3 should be arriving shortly. All right, so unless there's any other kind of role playing or questions or anything you guys want to ask of Coda or the 3 members that are here, I'll fast forward to that when the next 3 show up.
Actually, I might want to talk to the 3 members first, just to get like an understanding, like a bit more of an understanding on who they are and what tribes they run and where are their tribes, and just like generally speaking with them on a friendly basis, introducing myself to them.
All right, so basically, the ones you'll meet first. The first one is Uvan, and she's part of the Windwalkers clan. You also meet a representative from another clan to the north, the Plainskeepers, and another tribe to the south called the Pride of Frone. Both of those these are all barbarian tribes, so they all come in kind of adorned by like a typical barbarian, covered in hides, and some are donning battle axes and fur boots. And the weather is getting cold, so they're all coming in on some fur-lined overcoats or jackets, some wearing gloves and whatnot. But they all agreed to kind of go into one of the private meeting rooms off on the right side of the building to kind of discuss in more detail about what exactly you guys have seen and heard and what your suggestions are at this point. Is there something in particular you want to ask them, Porto?
Yes, I want to ask them if they've heard anything about the Centaur raids, and if they've heard of any bandit attacks in the area.
All right, so the first one, the Centaur attacks. 2 of the 3 tribe members immediately pop up and says, "We haven't had any trouble with the Centaurs in years. I don't know where this news is coming from. I mean, obviously we've heard what you guys have said about Helgabal Fallen, and that makes somewhat sense since we haven't seen a merchant caravan from them in at least 4, 5, 6 days. We just assumed it was the harsh weather and the bad crops and the bad harvest that has affected us, must have affected them as well." Uvan, on the other hand, will chime in and says, I must say, I find this hard to believe that the Centaurs would turn upon us. I have personal contact with a few Centaurs in years past, and they've always been a peaceful and a non-warring people. I just can't fathom how this could have come to pass. What proof do you have that these Centaurs are truly attacking us? I mean, did you see the attack on Helgabal?
That I mentioned even before all this started. I originally came from a town that was besieged by the Centaurs, and pretty much everyone there was slaughtered by the creatures, and I show them this banner that I have of like a centaur insignia or whatever, and I'm like, this I managed to take from the battle from the creatures that did this to us.
And she kind of reaches out and says, may I examine that banner, please?
Absolutely, and I give it to her.
And she starts looking over the banner a little bit, and looks at the emblem that's upon it. Did you specify if there's a certain emblem on it, Corin, out of character?
Not that I would know of, just whatever centaur banner would look like.
Okay, that's fine. So she looks it over, and she sees the specific, all the banners within centaurs have a certain symbol that they put upon their banner. And she looks this over and says, I don't recognize this banner. This is not what from one of the local tribes around here. I know of at least 4 in the area, and this does not match any of them. I'm not to say this isn't from some other centaur tribe, but I know this is not one of the local ones around here.
Well, then perhaps one of the local tribes is not the ones responsible for all these attacks, but regardless, it is the centaurs.
My guess would be that they are forming under one banner.
At that, the other 2 tribe members kind of start piping up. If this is true, then what are we to do? I mean, if Helgabal truly did fall, we don't stand a chance. That's a huge city. We're just but a small village here. Who else in the room?
This is true.
Everybody's in the room here, unless you guys say otherwise. Is that correct? And everybody you invited.
Yeah.
Is Vivek there?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Just making sure that you guys didn't leave him behind and went to a room just you 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nivek's there.
All right, so Novak will chime in and says, yes, you are correct. If Helgabal has fallen, then this village stands no chance. No offense, mind you. But we need to keep our wits about, keep some scouts out. If there truly is a threat in this area, then as much as I hate to say it, this town is lost. It's my advice that you evacuate to Injas, the fortified city, just east of here. I'm sure you're aware of it. That would be your best course of action.
Which is why I've actually asked about the bandits earlier. Are they barbarian tribes in the surrounding areas? Or do you know anything about these bandit raids?
Now, the bandit raids, the council members all are aware of it. It's been happening for at least a couple weeks, and Riley has brought it up before. They tell you guys that basically based on their limited number of resources, I mean, they only employ 6 peacekeepers. So any kind of an effort to thwart these bandits would require more volunteers from either the neighboring barbarian tribes or possibly to conscript or hire out some mercenaries from Ingest. They tend to get quite an influx of mercenaries in and out of the fortified city. But they basically tell you it's beyond anything they can combat with their resources.
I see. Clearly, considering of course, due to the bandit raids and the possibility of the centaur attacks as well, I would be concerned for the welfare of this town and neighboring towns.
You're saying that to Novak or the tribe members?
To the tribe members and yeah, just I'll just say that.
Yeah, and they all agree. So yes, if this is a real threat, then we will need to round up as many of these neighboring barbarian tribes. I mean, each of us are. The other 3 council members should be here shortly. We can round them up as quickly as possible, if need be. and make our way to Injas if that is possible, or we can try to make a final stand here. But I do not have much faith in that based upon the news of Helgabal falling.
How many of you are you strong? How many able-bodied men, or I guess warriors do you possess?
The tribe leader from the Plainskeepers will pipe up, says, I have 20 good warriors, possibly 4 or 5 younger apprentice warriors, but that's the most I can provide at this point. And the leader from Pride of Frone says, we're slightly better than slightly more numerous than the Plainskeepers. We have at least 35 good warriors within the tribe, but if we use all of them, then our tribe itself will be left defenseless. But 35 is the number you're looking for.
In total, between all 6 of your tribes?
You'd have to ask the other tribe members. Most of them are similar in size to our own. But if I were to guess, I could say you could maybe get another, I don't know, 60 to maybe 90 barbarians. That's a complete guess. You'd have to ask them when they get here.
All right.
At that, Navex
Then-
kind of shakes his head, says, that will make a dent. For Helgabal to fall, there had to have been thousands of them. Thousands, I tell you.
Will pipes up and asks, would you tribesmen be willing to aid in our cause and join us and fight to take back Helgabal?
At that, the two tribe members kind of look at each other and say, "That's quite a grave task you're asking us there. I mean, these are barbarians. They're not men that battle sieges and climb walls, and we were simple folk. But if the threat is real in this realm, then perhaps we can talk a few of them into it. I will not force any man to pull up an axe and fight for another realm, but they're men of free will. They will make their own choice."
Look at that, Nivek. We've got something somewhere around possibly somewhere around 100 to this army already. I think it would be a very good idea to round up all your tribes people and people of surrounding villages and get them to fortified safety and we would be very happy to have your help. We are currently headed for Bildabaris to secure a real strong force to head back and take back Helgabal.
At that, I mean, the tribe leaders kind of nod in agreement or knowing, so to speak. And as you guys are talking, the other 3 tribe members arrive. And I'm assuming at this point, tell me if I'm wrong, that you guys will kind of share everything else you just shared with these other tribe members. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Right, and pretty much all the other tribe members agree, and they give you the rough numbers of how many warriors they have available, except for the tribe leader of the Red Hand. He kind of standoffish and accusatory, and says, "What is this? What is this gossip of centaurs attacking?" He says, "I don't believe it. They've never attacked. This is some kind of a ploy by you guys to round us up and send us off to some fortified city and away from our homes. I don't agree. I will not partake in this."
Well, what would we have to gain by grouping all of your tribesmen and sending them off in a different location?
It's not what you would gain, it's what we would lose. If all our tribe members left, we'd be defenseless, for sure. Any small little tribe of one of the neighboring barbarian tribes not inside the council could stroll right in here and take over, take our farmland, take our livestock, take our livelihood. This is our home.
Yes, and I've been meaning to ask, what are your relationships with these other barbarian tribes that are not part of the council, apparently?
If you're asking if we've gone to war with them, yes, we have in the past. It's been peaceful, as long as they stay on their side and we stay on ours. Do not trespass.
But apparently it hasn't, as you've been getting bandit raids.
Stupid bandit raids attacking these merchants and their trinkets and their oddities and whatnot that are just for the weak-minded. Give me meat, give me corn, give me wheat, give me fur, and I'll survive. I do not need these trinkets and oddities. I do not need the wineskins and the ale.
So you admit that these bandits are not part of the other barbarian tribes that you've been warring with?
I have no idea if these bandits are part of barbarian tribes, but all I know is that most honorable barbarians do not pick upon those that are weak. We relish a good battle, and we'll face a man face to face, axe to axe.
How many other barbarian tribes are there that you're warring with?
We're not warring with any of them. There's only 6 that have agreed upon to be on this tribe council. 6 of the civilized barbarian tribes. And he says that with some little smug on his face.
Okay. And how many are there that aren't on this council?
Says I couldn't even begin to tell you how many different segregated and little pockets of tribes that are throughout Narfell. It's a huge region. We were once a mighty region under one tribe leader, but that was eons ago. So if I were to guess, I'd say there's tribes in the hundreds within the realm of Narfell.
Hundreds of tribes, and yet 6 of you remain united. What has happened over these past years?
We're barbarians. We live off the land. Again, as long as we stay on our area, no need to trespass. There is no war between tribes.
Well then, if you are not convinced that the centaurs are going to attack this town eventually, regardless of whether you have men sent away from this town or not, you've already heard that there are thousands of centaurs, if not tens of thousands. And Helgabal, if you're not aware of what kind of city it is, has easily been taken over by these centaurs. And I myself have encountered them. They are indeed united by one mysterious leader, but they are indeed attacking, and they are indeed corralling together and raiding nearby towns, cities, and in fact, kingdoms within the surrounding regions are even having discussions regarding this issue. And if you are not going to send men to aid us, then I would advise you to gather the barbarian tribes in the surrounding regions and become united, so that at least you tribes can fend for yourself. Because as it stands, you with the men that you do have, you will not be able to fend off the centaur attacks. You will not be able to escape such an event.
And he kind of listens to your speech there and kind of nodding at times and shaking his head at other times. And he says, let me tell you this. If this centaur attack is true, if there are truly thousands of centaurs waiting to descend upon us, then I might consider reaching out to those less civilized barbarian tribes as a united front. But until I see that, until I know it's true, I'm not sure I can do anything about it. And at that, Uvan will chime in at this point. Actually, the guy from Red Hand will point out to Uvan, says, Uvan, what do you say of this news of Centaur hordes attacking and killing innocent folks? And Uvan kind of pulls you guys closer inside the room and closes the door. She says, all right, some of you guys know this. And she looks at the other council members. But you new guys, and she looks at your party. What I'm about to tell you cannot leave this council chamber. Do I have your word?
Agreed.
Porto will agree that he has his word.
Yeah, Corn just nods.
Alright, so I'm assuming everyone else at this point nods or says yes. I think she already shared with one of you guys when you first came out that she's actually friends with one of the local Centaur tribes, and that she can possibly set up a meeting with that tribe leader to confirm or deny this whole Centaur, I guess, attacks or binding together of all the tribes and attacking them. She trusts this one tribe leader. She saw him just a few weeks ago. She knows how to get a hold of him. She just asks for you guys to be patient. She suggests that you guys maybe double or triple the peacekeeper guards. Ask for volunteers of each one of the tribes. She even recommends that maybe we ask a few tribes to supply some scouts, and they patrol the outskirts of all the tribe lands to verify, make sure, and keep watch for any hostile Centaur tribes.
You said that the last time you've heard of this Centaur tribe leader was a couple of weeks ago. Are you sure it's safe to communicate with him now? It's been a couple of weeks, and I've been on this journey with my party for about a week now, and it's been about that amount of time since I last encountered some very hostile centaurs. Logically, I would assume that your centaur friend most likely would have gotten some sort of news by now. If you are willing to communicate with him, I would advise that one of us or a couple of us should accompany you.
And she kind of looks back again, looks at all of you and says, well, honestly, we won't know until we try. And she kind of gives a knowing look at the leader of the Hilltoppers, and he kind of nods in agreement. Says I can help you set up a meeting, but I must warn you that his tribe has been traveling south of the city. Last I heard, and that's where our tribe is, as you know. And we've lost a few cattle recently. At first, I thought nothing of it, that it was just maybe wolves or something else that fell in a ravine or whatever. But now I'm concerned that maybe there's more to this than just a couple disappearing cattle.
Yes, I would set up a meeting, but I would advise caution.
All right, Uvan kind of looks around the room and looks for nods of agreement, whatnot. She says, "Okay, very well. I'll set up the meeting. It'll have to be possibly at daybreak. It's getting too dark now, but I'll signal for Irfan to meet us out south of the city, on the outskirts of the Hilltoppers' land." And she looks at the Hilltopper tribe member, and he nods in agreement. Says, "It shall be done." All right. So at that, it's time for the actual tribe council meeting. A couple of the members kind of look at their kind of tapping on their notepads that they've got other business to attend to, and they thank each of you guys, and they tell you guys you're more than welcome to stick around for their tribe council meeting as well.
Porto will stick around.
Yeah, I'll stick around. Yeah, I'll stick around. Go listen.
All right, Nevek will stick around as well. Blockbart, are you back yet? Okay, just saw he was AFK for a minute. Sometimes he's not back yet. All right, so let me scroll to the minute notes. All right, so you guys all go into a little bit larger conference room, large oval oak table. Each of the tribe council members takes their place around the table. There's a couple of chairs and benches along the perimeter of the conference room that you guys are able to sit in. And they all go around the room and state their names and what tribe they represent. And they all do some kind of little formal little, so we all here, so we all shall be, and so we all shall rule together. And so the meeting minutes start going down. They talk about the windmill. Windmill's in disrepair. Last time it's been used, it only made it through half of a bushel before it needed repairs again. Talk about how they really need to send for some real parts, some real repairs, and possibly bring in someone other than the few volunteers they've got to be working on it. And this goes on for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you can tell it's an old issue, and it seems to come up every single week, and nothing ever is done about it. They also bring up the fact that their store foods, the warehouses are running low. Again, based on the information some of you already heard, based on the bad summer and the short crops and some of the livestock dying off because of that. They talk about trying to buy some more food from Bildubaris or neighboring Injast, although they shouldn't. That's not a very reliable source for food. They just hope they don't have to go any further than Bildubaris because it'll be pretty expensive at that point. One of the tribe members brings up the fact that Golan and his ale house are currently 2 months late on paying his taxes to the city. And with that tax money, he said they probably could have put that towards buying some more food or possibly repairing the windmill as well. One particular member is pretty harsh with his words about Golan, saying he's a no-good 2-bit dwarf that owes a lot of money to more people than just this town, and they'll probably never see their taxes or their money. One of the other members brings up the bathhouse and says what money they have been paying for their taxes looks suspicious. He thinks they're making a lot more money than what they're reporting, and therefore they're shorting the city of what their true income is and what their taxes should be. And lastly, the Hilltopper clan leader shares with you guys about the missing cattle that he shared with you guys in private as well. That he originally was just going to bring that up for a searching party to try to see if he could find the remains or look for some wolves or something like that could have been attacking these. But now he's concerned there may possibly be more to it than just that. All right, so is there anything else that you guys want to bring up or discuss with the council members?
Porto just asks very casually, just out of curiosity, how much does that dwarf owe in taxes?
You see one of the council members kind of pull up an abacus, and he starts kind of going through it, and you see him kind of stop and like he's doing numbers in his head, and he writes down a few numbers and he goes back again. He says, "Oh, it's at least 1,500 gold at this rate, based on what I."
Porto.
Go ahead.
Porto bursts out laughing and says, "Oh, my friend, you're never going to see that gold." And then he apologizes, but states the truth.
And the council member says, "Well, you're preaching to the choir, son. That's what I've been saying for the past two months now. That dwarf is no good. He's been here for several years, and he goes through periods of this where he falls behind, keeps promising and promising. Somehow he always figures out a way to end up paying it or reducing it or something, but he's just not very consistent, not very truthful. I just don't trust the man."
What does he do for a living?
He kind of looks at you like quizzically, says he runs the tavern. That's his livelihood. He makes his ale and sells that to the merchants, and that's how he makes his money. I think he used to be some kind of a mercenary. Used to be maybe a miner. I will give him credit though. He's one hell of a brewmaster. That's one of the finest ales I've had around here. That's probably the main reason why his tavern's staying in business. I tell you.
I see. Well, continue on.
All right, so they kind of wrap up their notes and stuff, and Chief Bo is there as well, and he takes their direction, their suggestion of needing to double and triple the peacekeeper force, and ask for scouts as well. So he kind of gives each of the tribe leaders, I guess, marching orders of when and where to have their volunteers report for duty, and says he'll keep each one of them busy. As of right now, he has pretty much 2 peacekeepers on duty at any time. So he gives them the numbers that they need to triple that for the patrols along the perimeter of town, plus the same number of scouts he needs to along the outskirts of all the clan members' lands to keep an eye out for these centaurs and report back to him as soon as they see anything or hear anything suspicious. So with that, they'll adjourn the meeting. And that took roughly about an hour for the tribe council meeting. So now we are into evening actions. And we are approaching, I guess, 10 o'clock local time. So we're about to a point where we're probably have to stop here unless you guys have something else you want to quickly go over.
I don't mind continuing for another hour, if everyone else is fine with that, but...
I'm pretty tired, to be honest. I probably couldn't do another hour.
Yeah, same.
Alright, so I just need to know where you guys are going to head next from this, and then that will be where we pick up next time.
Is the bathhouse open at this time?
That's a silly question. It's nighttime. The tavern's open, and the bathhouse is open, and you guys, there's no need to roll a perception or a history or wisdom check. You know both those places are going to be hopping. You can already hear it as you walk out the front door of the council hall.
Alright, Portal will go to the bathhouse.
I'll turn to... forgotten a name all of a sudden.
Actually, hold on. Sorry to cut in. Before Portal goes to the bathhouse, he just pulls the party close together so that they can hear him, but so that they can hear him whisper. Listen, I'm going to go check out the bathhouse and see what's up with the owner and why the chiefs suspect him of making more than he is actually making. I would go to the tavern and find out what's going on with the dwarf right after, but I mean, if any of you are interested in helping me out, figuring out why the dwarf is avoiding paying his taxes, then I would kindly appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just informing you guys that that is my that's my intention for this evening. And if any of you are willing to join, then I would appreciate the help.
Corn kind of respectfully declines his offer to join with the bathhouse, but you will check out the tavern. Maybe not necessarily to squeeze out the information, but just to see what's what.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, Will's going on tavern too for a couple pints and some dinner, hopefully.
All right, so everybody move your character to wherever you're going to go to. Right now you can see on the map the Remora, yeah, that's the tavern, and the bathhouse is this building right here.
Actually, Will wants to do something else real quick. He wants to go to the inn because he's curious, and so goes in the inn. Does the inn have in any way kind of a bar as well? Like when I think of an inn, most times I think of a place that also has like can just serve food and type stuff.
All right, so let me. I'll do this real quick. The inn, as you walk in, it's a very plain inn. There is a bar there, but when you walk in, you see there's like maybe 3 people at the bar. It's just very empty. It doesn't look like a very happening spot. They do have a bar there, but you can hear the laughter and the loud raucous noise and everything coming from the tavern next door.
Right. Okay.
All right, so go ahead and move your character back to the end. I will have a few brief introductions for you start the next session, and then you can move back over the tavern. I just want to give you a quick little overview of what the inn looks like.
Okay.
And I already described the tavern. And just real quick, Porto, this bathhouse, I guess everybody that saw it, from the outside looks like it's a better, well-kept building. Got some very smooth, nice surfaces of it, of some kind of a plaster. Not a wooden or stone structure, maybe underneath, but it's a very nice and very well-kept building. As soon as you walk inside, what little bit you can see, it's got very nice and plush furniture. See a bar along the back side, and there's one big bouncer greeting you at the door. All right, so Novek will not partake in any of that nonsense. He kind of shakes his head and starts walking back towards the ship. Blockvard, are you still there?
Yep.
Okay, what's your plan?
I just been back to the ship.
You're being a good boy too, huh? All right, so with that, we need to kind of wrap that up because not everybody's going to be able to stay for another hour. I'll throw it out there again if you guys want. I'm not traveling this week, so I am open to another session this Friday. I'll confirm that tomorrow morning with the wife, make sure she didn't make plans for me. But if you guys are open for another session next Friday, I am game.
Yeah, I'm all down.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I should be up for that.
Okay, so I'll confirm with the wife and I'll let you guys know hopefully by tomorrow whether or not next Friday is a reality or not.
All right, sounds good, Brian. Thank you for the session. It was really enjoyable.
Yep, another role-play heavy session. Apologize for that if that's not what you're expecting, but you guys are about to uncover several potential encounters, I do believe. So next session maybe.
Oh no, it's fun.
RP.
Looking forward for that.
All right, guys. I'll call it in. Good night. Thanks, and I'll hopefully see you next week.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you next week.
User disconnected from your channel.